Welcome to Simple Steps to Success. We are at module number 2 today. And the name of this module is entitled The Art of Thinking. And the reason why I created this module is because the majority of us actually have never been shown how to think. But what's very interesting is that the most successful people I know, they don't think like the average person. They think very, very differently. So what I wanted to do is delve into this a little bit more deeply and share with you some ways in which you can think more powerfully and help you get much better results in your life. But please remember that these are my own thoughts and ideas that have helped me and my clients. And they're just ideas to help you, but they do not reflect the thoughts or opinions of anybody else. And for best results, please watch these modules in the specified order. Our objective today is on how we can use our most powerful gift more effectively. And our most powerful gift is our mind. We're going to be looking at 3 areas in which we can begin to use our mind more effectively. The first area is, I call it unlearning to succeed. The second area is counterintuitive thinking. And the third one is looking at our subconscious mind in more detail. I believe that if we are able to improve our thinking, our efforts are going to yield much faster results. We'll also be able to make better decisions in our life that can help us get to where we want to go much faster. And lastly, I believe that we can make rapid progress in all areas of our life if we just learn how to think more effectively. So the first concept that I wanted to share with you is unlearning to succeed. So I know this sounds a bit interesting when I say this, and the reason I'm talking about unlearning to succeed is because we have all been taught concepts since we were young that actually are preventing us from achieving our goals. And this is not your fault in any way. It's just because these concepts have been used so often, and then we just believe that they're true. One of the things that we have to start getting used to doing is to stop following the crowd. Because if we follow the crowd, we're probably going to think like the crowd, and as you'll see in the later modules, the crowd really isn't as happy and successful as you may think. So I wanted to give you some examples of what I'm referring to. So Henry Ford was told that it was impossible for him to build an engine that could transport people. Well, he built the first engine in 1896. So he had to think differently and he had to not follow the crowd. The Wright brothers were told that man would never fly, but they built the airplane in 1903. Again, they had to think differently. Roger Bannister was told that it was impossible to run a mile in under 4 minutes, but he did it in 1952. Steve Jobs was told that it was impossible to build a touchscreen phone, but he built the iPhone in 2007. And lastly, Oprah Winfrey was told that she would never become a TV host. Well, she created the Oprah Winfrey Show in 1986. The reason I'm sharing these examples with you is because these are examples of individuals who actually had to unlearn what they were taught and let go of information or mindsets that would get in their way of their success. And we need to do the same if we are going to achieve better results in our life. Now we're going to look at another concept called counterintuitive thinking. And to be honest, counterintuitive thinking is one of my most favorite things to do, and that is to think differently than everybody else. The problem is that although it can bring us tremendous success in certain areas, you need to know when to do it, and you might find resistance from other people when you don't think the same way they do. But the definition of counterintuitive thinking is really thinking in a way which doesn't seem to make sense and it doesn't seem intuitive or correct. So I'm going to give you some examples in terms of what I'm referring to. So I had a student that I was teaching in one of my classes at the university, and she told me, she said, Aleem, I have a cat, and my cat really bothers me and really kind of stops me from learning. And I said, why? And so she goes, well, I love my cat, and the cat comes on my lap and she purrs, and I just cannot neglect my cat. I really need to spend time with her, because otherwise I feel very guilty. So the intuitive thing to do would be to remove the cat or put the cat into a different room. But she did something which I thought was brilliant, and she thought counterintuitively, and what she did was she actually purchased or bought another cat. So now it worked out perfectly for her because she doesn't feel guilty about neglecting her original cat, and the other cat now keeps the original cat occupied. So now it's one big happy family, and everybody's happy in her household. And by the way, she did better in school too. You may want to get a higher income. So one of the intuitive ways to achieve a higher income is to ask for a raise. Now, this might be a good way to do it, but a surefire way to actually increase the amount of income that you get, you may not get it right away, but eventually what can happen is that if you keep adding more value and you can do your job better and you start being the best at what you do, inevitably that will result in you being able to earn a higher or command a higher income. So these are a couple of ideas in terms of thinking counterintuitively for you to get better results in your life. And again, this is why it's very important that you don't think like the crowd, because the crowd is going to think intuitively. And again, in certain areas of your life, you don't want to think like the crowd, and you want to think at a different level to get better and different results. Now we're going to look at the conscious versus the subconscious mind. And the reason I wanted to touch on this is because there's many times when we intellectually know what we need to do to achieve our goal. The problem is we don't do it. So why does this happen? And why do we procrastinate so much? Well, the reason for this is because our conscious mind is only 10% of our mind. And the subconscious mind is actually 90%. So what happens here is we logically start to do a lot of things, but what's really running the show is our emotions. And the reason for this is because our subconscious mind is really our emotional mind. So what we need to do here is we need to understand this, and we need to start giving more attention and paying more attention in terms of what fulfills us, what makes us happy, and how we feel on a regular basis. So I wanted to give you some examples. So one example, and this happens, this is the world that I'm in, I deal with a lot of students. A student will say, I have work to do, and logically they know that they need to start their schoolwork. But what actually ends up happening, they start watching Netflix, and it keeps on going on, and they end up binge watching, and they never get their homework done. Let's say you want to lose some weight and you think that you're a little bit heavier than you would like to be. Well, you know intellectually that you need to go to the gym. But what do? We sometimes just chill out and relax on the couch because it's easier and more pleasant. So who wins that game? Well, the subconscious mind won that one as well. Let's say you want to start eating healthy, and consciously you know that maybe you want to eat a salad, for example, that you should eat a salad, for example. But what happens? You see somebody order dessert and it looks so yummy and tasty, and then you tell yourself, well, I'll eat healthy tomorrow. Instead, I'm going to order the chocolate molten lava cake. And this again is an example of our subconscious mind winning. So the reason I'm sharing this with you is that when you are able to pay attention to your subconscious mind and kind of cater to it and adhere to it, you can actually use your conscious mind and your subconscious mind to help you achieve your definition of success much faster, and you won't give up or feel frustrated as quickly because you're using a lot more of your mind to achieve your goals. So the lesson here is that we need to allow our subconscious mind to do its thing, but more importantly, we need to pay attention to our emotions. So the key points here is that if we focus on logic, it becomes very difficult for us to succeed. We also need to pay attention to our emotions if we want long-term success. So your exercise right now is to look at an area of your life where you're not getting the results that you want. And then think about a new way of thinking that can help you to get better results in this area. So maybe that means you need to unlearn an old mindset or an old belief that's not working for you. Maybe you need to take some counterintuitive action that seems like it's not going to work, but actually may work. And lastly, you may want to consider engaging your subconscious mind to help you develop the right emotions so you can succeed and fulfill the task that you want to achieve. Okay, so thank you. I'm just going to summarize what we did today. And again, our objective today was how we can use our most powerful gift, which is our mind. And we considered 3 areas in which we can develop our thinking skills. One was unlearning to succeed. The other one was counterintuitive thinking. And then the last one was using our subconscious mind and knowing how that relates with our conscious mind to help us succeed. So thank you very much, and we will see you in the next module.